God did not create a meaningless world. You actually see a lot of students get hung up on the misunderstanding of this lesson. It's pretty intense because as much as A Course in Miracles talks about this all being an illusion, it essentially is a little bit of a distortion of recognizing what is real. So it's a little tricky because you might be battling with this for some time, even doing it after years of doing this course, of recognizing what is real. Now, there is a world in which God has intended for you to see. Now, so many people think this is just psychological, as if the world you see physical is here. And yet, like just like it is, right? But you can't really see it, you can't really interpret and work with it in the way when you're up into the crazy of your mind. Now, this is a very superficial understanding, very helpful, but very superficial in the depth of recognizing this. Now, you might know about the energy of the spiritual universe. Now, the energy of the spiritual universe is a holographic, it has a construct in which it develops in representation of consciousness. Now, this is actually how the world is intended to be, is an energetic format of a holographic spiritual universe. Now, this has the ability to change and shift and rearrange as quickly and as fast as your consciousness. Now, the ideas in which this is referring to about all these disasters and this war and airplane crash and so on, and how they're not real, is the misunderstanding. So in consciousness and what you have been designed to be, you develop ideas. And these ideas then are represented by the holy spiritual universe. That it then shows you what you're thinking, what you believe, and what you have experience of. And so this idea of separation develops a whole construct of a physical reality inside that holographic representation. So this is actually the spiritual universe, all of this. But you can't see it because you're obsessed with this idea in consciousness of separation. Okay? So yes, this engenders fear because of the idea that you are in competition with God with this idea of separation. You can't see the world as God has intended for you to see it. You see instead the obsession of separation embodies. Now, this is something that you really need to grasp if you want to be a miracle worker. It is quite literally the construct of your physical world. You only see physicality. You literally only see physicality, feel physicality, taste it, smell it, all of it, because you have an addiction to this idea of separation, and it's more of an obsession. Okay? So I know it doesn't seem like that quite yet. The whole reason things are disastrous and problematic and not everlasting, this idea of separation makes the spirit look like it can die. You know, that whole E equals MC squared. And what that is referencing to, summing it up, is about energy continuously. That energy never really disappears. It never really dies off. It doesn't really end. It is continuous. It just changes in and out from different experiences. Just like if you would say the energy of someone's body, and then it dies, and the energy of the earth, and it goes in the earth, and so on. And there's all this different energy. Now, it gets far more in depth, and this is intending for you to get into actual first-hand experience of it, of the spiritual universe. So there is another world which God intends for you to see if you properly understand what this is. So many people in A Course in Miracles, so many students insist that this is all an illusion and there's literally nothing. Nothing. And it's a big misunderstanding because what is here is real. What is here is real, but you can't see it because you're obsessed with separation. And because of what you are, who you are, and the power that you have in this consciousness, and what the spiritual universe is designed to do in correspondence with you, literally to represent your mind, you have these ideas and have made ideas of forgetting. You have made ideas of being in it firsthand, having this experience firsthand. I was born, had no knowledge of anything. What a glorious experience. Yes, you've thought of some fancy, funny, fun, crazy ideas. This whole experience is essentially crazy. But it has its reasons, it has its purpose, and you're expanding upon it. But the key to being a miraculous worker is to recognize what is God's world, intended for you to experience, is far more fluid and a lot less dying, a lot less disasters. In fact, it is eternal. So it's rather interesting because we don't really put it together. But if you want to be a miracle worker, if you're in this for this, this is quite literally, we need to change how you see the world. You need to see it all differently. And that is that this is not a world of solid construct. This, in fact, is your relationship with God. And still to this day, there is only the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That is consciousness of all that is, the experiencer of all that is, and the representation or the representative voice of all that is. And this is all that we have, this relationship, communication of what is occurring. So if your mind's fluid, you experience the world as fluid.